Welcome to the Brilliant Breakthroughs Small Business Summit. Is everybody ready to have another round of awesomeness? I sure hope so. The #1 best-selling business book series, Brilliant Breakthroughs for the Small Business Owner, was dedicated to you, the small business owner. And in that same spirit, this summit is also dedicated to you because, after all, you are the accelerant of our economy. So this year's summit is designed to focus on profitability, including not only in this session, but others, and which is over 15 different sessions. We are sharing 15 different perspectives of how you can boost your business's profits. So we want you to go ahead and sit back, relax, probably take a lot of notes, and enjoy yourself, because right now you're where you need to be if you're ready to become more profitable. I don't know if anybody can handle being more profitable, but we're going to help with that. So I'd like to say hi, small business owners. My name is Maggie Mongan. I'm the founder of the Brilliant Breakthroughs Small Business Summit, as well as the founder and publisher of the #1 best-selling business book series, Brilliant Breakthroughs for the Small Business Owner. And the subtitle is Fresh Perspectives on Profitability, People, Productivity, and Finding Peace in Your Business. I'm also a tenured master business coach and trainer and the founder of Brilliant Breakthroughs, and recognized as a small business success influencer. So we're thrilled to have our community of #1 best-selling business authors share their golden nuggets so you can have brilliant breakthroughs for your own business as well. This is our first annual online summit, which coincides with Small Business Week of 2020. So we hope you're ready to get some fresh perspectives to improve your performance pillar of profitability. So let's get started. And today I'd like to say we are honored to have Nancy Lucchese with us. She's going to share with us how important our focus is when we focus on the right things. And in case you didn't get that yet, it's profitability. With her presentation, we're sure to do just that, and quite successfully. So let's focus. Absolutely. It's the road to profit. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you, Maggie. I am so excited to be here today and share. I just love the small business. I think it's the heart and soul of America. So
I know that about you. That's a fact. And I want to share with everybody, we're going to do something really cool during this presentation that I don't know if it's exactly happening in any of the others, but Nancy is on the hot seat today. Okay, so I'm going to ask her about 10 questions, and in less than 2 minutes, she's going to give an answer. So truly, if you are interested in apps for your business and to boost your profitability, or you're not quite sure what an app is, you are definitely in the right place, because she's just going to help us move through this so quickly, and you'll probably come out with more questions than answers, but that's okay because she has a lot of answers. But it's going to lead you further down the trail to, is an app the right thing for my business? And she's even going to answer that very specifically in about less than 20 minutes. So Nancy, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's rock this.
Okay, but first I'm going to introduce you. Can you let me do that?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I have to read this one. So Nancy has a really interesting nickname. She has been coined by her clients the App Mama. She is the founder, of Unleashed Mobile Apps and a #1 best-selling business author. Whoop, whoop. Come on, Nancy. Whoop, whoop. Nancy Lucchese's work centers around helping entrepreneurs bring their visions to life. Very cool. As a mobile app strategist, she helps her clients find the right developer and navigate the development process. Nancy also uses her decades of business experience to help her clients monetize their mobile apps to be quite successful. Nancy's favorite part of her whole process is when she's working with her customers and clients to grow their business with technology. And Nancy is known for having a little downtime. And when she does, she enjoys spending time with her husband and cheering on who, Nancy?
Ah, the green and gold. Go Pack, go.
Go back. Traveling, particularly to places that have a beach view. So, she has that tan already, and I don't. So it's winter, and congratulations, Nancy. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here today, and I am ready for whatever questions you want to throw at me.
Okay, so you ready to get your timer
Well,
going?
wait, let me open up my app so that we can have our timer here and go.
Question 1. What do you do to help businesses?
What do I do to help businesses? Okay, well, I am actually a mobile app strategist. And right there, I focus only on mobile apps and I help people through the entire process. I help them from concept to publishing and everything in between. But then more importantly, I teach them how to monetize their app, how to make money with that app that they have developed. So in a nutshell, my focus for profitability is strictly focusing on mobile apps. I don't do websites. I don't do social media. I do apps.
Oh, and I didn't hear a timer, so that's under 2 minutes. Cool. Okay. So you said I do apps, but more importantly, I help people monetize them.
Right. Because too often that's exactly what we find is that the developer, they do what they do best, which is develop a beautiful app for you. And you've put your heart and soul into this. And then they hand it to you and they say, here you go. And there's this big gap that I have stepped into that role where I teach people now how to market their app, how to make money at it, how to get seen on the stores. Because it's not like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Not at all. You've got to tell people where you're at.
Okay, so that makes sense, and I know we'll talk about that a little more in detail. So ready for question 2? Set that timer.
Yes, ready, go.
What is the difference between a website and an app?
I get that question all the time. Okay, so I'll even take it one step further and talk about social media. Social
Okay.
media is where people first find you on the radar. And then when they want to learn more about you, they go to your website. And this is where they can find out what products you're selling, what services you may offer. They learn a little bit of a history about you, about your company, and they get to see you on the radar. But a mobile app in this century is where people do business with you. Think about your own habits. There are statistics out there that show that we use over 9 apps a day. And when I say that, you're going to go, I don't. But think about it. You use your social media apps, use your weather app, you're buying on Amazon, you're doing business, and there are more app users that will only do business with you if you have a mobile app. They will not do business. I mean, when's the last time you've taken your mobile device, which you always have with you, and searched for a mobile website? You don't. I mean, maybe occasionally, but not habitually. And so think about your own habits, and that's the difference. With a mobile app, people can purchase product from you, they can schedule appointments, they can find you if you're brick and mortar, they can have discussions with you, they can see what you're offering, and they can do business with you. And that's really the big difference between that and a website. So
I love your answer. You made it very simple for us to understand. And the truth is, we always have a device with us now.
right. Right.
So
It is always. In fact, I know Apple does this. I don't know about Google. I'd be shocked if Androids didn't do this, where it tells you how much screen time you have every week. And, take a look at that. See what your own habits are.
it is amazing. And when Nancy told me about the 9 apps, I challenged her to that, and she challenged me back. And whoo, she was right.
Yeah,
The statistics are there for a reason.
exactly.
Okay, so ready for the next one?
Ready, go.
How can an app help my business? And this is for business in general. How does it help a business?
The best thing about an app is you are speaking directly to your target audience. And these are people who have done business with you. Who is
Okay.
the easiest person to sell something to? Well, okay, other than your mother, who's the easiest person? Is somebody who's purchased from you before,
Right.
somebody who already know, likes, and trusts you. And they are giving up precious real estate on their device to do business with you. What better way than to actually speak to them directly? You know, social media, as great as it is, and this is not a dog on social media, it's just very noisy. And it's very hit or miss if people are going to actually see your message at the time that they need to see it. So an app can help your business grow by reaching your target audience, and your target audience can share your app with their friends. The second best person to sell to is a referral. And what better way than to say, hey, I've got this great app. I do business with this company. Here, you should check it out. And so there's a lot of good positive things. It also brings everything together. You can reach your social media from your app. You can have emailing from your app. You can have people post things to there. So you've now taken over your community and nobody can shut you down. You own that traffic. Where Facebook, it could go away tomorrow. I'm not saying it will, but let's face it,
Right.
it's volatile. And there's a lot of privacy issues that people are concerned about putting certain things out there. Where with a mobile app, you own the traffic just like you do with your email list. So it's gold, or your podcast list. So those are really some focused ways. Yep, that's my time.
Oh, perfect timing. I love that. You get to own everything on that platform called your app, and you can manage it. And you are right. There's this thing called MySpace that was all the rage for years, and then it
Mhm.
just dissipated.
Correct.
And actually, I have heard that Facebook has outlived its life cycle. They thought it was going to be done 5 years ago because of
Right.
how the cycles move with platforms. So that's a really strong indicator that we don't want to live on these third-party platforms.
Exactly. And if you recall, I think it was a year ago, Facebook shut down and people were panicking. They had no way to do business with their clients. I have one of my clients that has been an app client for a while, but she used to do a lot of stuff on Facebook, and then that happened. And now she's killing it with her app. And now she can still do business without having to rely on social. Not that she doesn't have it in her market plan, but it's not her primary focus any longer.
Great, great. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Set that timer.
All right, go.
I hear people say, well, I don't really need an app. What's your rebuttal?
Yeah, I actually talk about this in my chapter. You need to start talking to people who are professionals. Stop taking advice from family and friends because they have their own agenda in mind when they're actually talking to you. Stop asking them for legal advice and technical advice and accounting advice. Go to the professionals and
Right.
find out for yourself and really do the research yourself, because it's so hard when we rely on family and friends, because again, they just have their own agenda. Even though they think they're helping you, they think that they're doing what's good for you, but they're not. So do you need a mobile app? Well, nobody needs a mobile app, but do you want to grow your business? A mobile app is going to help you grow your business and get you into the 21st century. Now, I will say an app is not for every single business out there. I'm one of the first ones to do that. When I meet with my clients, I hear their idea and then we decide if that's the route to go. And there's certain businesses, but you have to have repeat customers. You have to have a product that can be more than just a one-off. I use this example where somebody came to me once. They're a mattress company and they wanted an app. Well, let's think about that. Are you going to buy an app or put an app on your phone when you're buying a mattress once every 7 or 10 years? No. But I encouraged her to go with a group app of her chamber where the power of everybody can help raise that up. And she was so grateful for that. So I don't say that it's for everybody, but it is for most businesses.
Cool. Okay, and I understand that, and I think I'd like to just jump into the next question.
Go ahead.
Okay, because
Yep.
you made it really clear, so let's do it. You started to address it. People say, oh, I have an idea for an app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first thing is figure out if it's app worthy, so to speak. And
Correct.
but then they'll say, oh, okay, fine, yeah, it could be an app according to what you just said about the mattress company. Where do they start?
They actually start with a conversation with me. That's what I do. I offer free consultation so I can hear your idea. I work with a plethora of developers, so I know what the different specialties are. But that conversation with me, first of all, we're going to discuss your idea and we're going to decide and determine if that is an idea that has water or not. And I talk about the complications of it or the simplicity, depending upon what the idea is, and then match you up with the right developer. But then throughout that whole process, we're going to teach you what to do. But when people say that, I just don't know how to bring an app to life, well, that's where you need the professionals to help you do that. You know, you can build an app yourself. If you want to take the time and be technical, there's tools out there that can do it for you.
Right.
But you first have to do market research to find out if your app holds water. And that's where I have these conversations with people and I help them figure out if the direction that they're going is the right direction. And then I walk them through the whole process. We help them get up on the stores. All these technical things can be rather scary. You need to do what you do best, and then you need to hire the rest.
Okay, so set your timer because you started with what I wanted to ask next, which is what is the app development process? You started to
Oh,
go into it a little bit.
yes, yes. And I'm so glad that you brought that up because picking your right developer is critical. Here's what people don't know about a mobile app is that it's very unique in its coding. And unless you work with another developer, if you want to move it to a different developer who knows that coding, you're going to run into trouble. It's not like a website where Wix and WordPress and Squarespace and all of these, you can go from one developer to another without any problem and people do know what they're doing. But a app is kind of like, think about wiring your house, an electrician. You
Mm,
want to go back to that same electrician. Yes, power gets to that switch, no problem. But if that switch goes bad, the original electrician is going to know how to search the wires back and find out where there's a problem. And he can make that change. Where if you go to a different electrician, he's got to start all over again and really try to figure out what's up. Same thing with like a car mechanic. They may work on Chevys, but you bring them a BMW and yeah, it's a car, but they may not know what they're doing. So the whole process starts with a good developer. Once your product is built, tested, etc., then we publish it on the stores. And it needs to go on Apple and Android so that you can be seen. So those are really the two big starts. And then afterwards, like we've talked about, is the marketing end of it. But selecting your developer is the key to a successful app.
okay, so we have to first figure out if we have a true app-worthy concept,
Right.
right? Then we need to have a conversation with somebody who knows something about apps
Yep.
and is a professional at apps and smoke it out a little further just to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into the development process. And again, we need to be aware of what happens in the app world with developers doing particular types of coding, right? So we
Right.
really do need a professional unless we are that app developer who has a strong marketing background.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's odd.
Well, I would think
That's a
it
really
is.
odd combination.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
right, right.
Okay, so that's a recap so far of what we've been talking about. So the next step, you ready for the question? Set your timer.
Go.
Okay, so now we have a mobile app. What's next?
Okay, so now you've got this beautiful app on the stores. You love it. You're showing it to all your family and friends, and they're all like, yes, this rocks, it's great. Now what? And I
Okay.
actually developed a course called You've Made a Mobile App, Now What? And the reason why I did this is I actually got this feedback from my own customers, where I used to be that developer that would say, here's your product, go.
Mm,
And just think that they knew what to do with this. But there's actually a full-blown process that needs to happen. I think of it like publishing a book. You need to have a launch. You need to target, like, before it starts, you need to start telling people this app is coming, look for it, and tease them and get them excited. And then once you launch it, I mean, hold a launch party, get people excited about it. And then you need to have like a landing page so people know where to find it so that they can download your app. And you have to market those things. And there's different techniques and ways to do this where you can get people excited. Now, not every technique works, but just like not every marketing technique works. If your business is brick and mortar, it doesn't make sense to talk to people who are 500 miles away. So your marketing would be more local.
right.
If you're an online community, now you have to focus on who is your ideal customer and where they live. Focus, absolutely, it is the road to profit. So you have to focus who your target market is. And those are all things you have to do with your app. It's no different than anything else that you have in your arsenal. Ooh, that was timed, right?
Ooh, you are hot on it. Okay, so you help people take their app, move them forward, and you just shared some really great ideas like have a launch party, you know, warm people up. It is a launch, just like any other product or service that you're
Right.
birthing for consumption, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's not something that you put it up on the stores and people will find it. That actually has all kinds of issues which we don't have time for. But yeah, that it's misnomers what's going on with the app stores and being found these days.
Okay. All right. So right now everybody's probably saying, okay, I get it. And now I know what to do even after I have one developed. But they're probably thinking, how can an app help me stand out from all my competition?
That that is a really good question because there are over 1 million apps on the app stores these days. It's nuts. It's absolutely crazy out there. So
Yeah.
how do you stand out? Well, first of all, you have to give people a reason to put the app on your phone. Why do I want to do business with you? And let me tell you about one of our apps that we have. It's a little bar in a small town where we live. And for those people in Wisconsin, you'll know what the West Allis means. But for those of you that are not around here, West Allis is known for having a bar on every corner. In fact, every corner has 3 bars in a church. This town is, what would you say, maybe 50,000 in population?
Mm, good enough.
Good enough. And I would say that there are over 100 to 200 bars in this little town, just to put it in perspective. And it's a typical old bar, old home turned into a bar. This guy has 1,600 downloads, and he has actively used his app on a regular basis. He increased his profit by 30% once he put the app in because he could measure it and he could see where his stuff was coming from. You want to talk about standing out. He's one of the only ones in the area. He's not the only one that has an app. He's the only one that promotes his app. He's the only one that gives people a reason to use his app, like with his loyalty program and his Dart League status that's on there,
Okay.
and other things that he does. So you want to talk about standing out. That's how it will help you stand out, because you make it different. You make it your own. Just like, how does your other product stand out from your competition? You're not the only one who is a coach or whatever your business is. How do you stand out?
Oh, bravo. So, talking about standing out, you just shared some things. And this is going to be the lead into the next question. You shared some things about how we need to feed our apps certain information that will make sense for our customer base, right?
Right.
Okay, so can I ask you our next question?
Go for it.
How easy is it to maintain an app?
As simple as maintaining social media. I mean, it is
Okay.
so simple to maintain an app. There's a admin type panel. It is not written in Geek. In fact, that's why they call me the app mama, because I can translate Geek into English.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and so this is why why they do that. And so the panel is just as simple as making a post or adding. It's not coding. You're not worried about the back end details. Those have already been established for you by your developer.
Right.
So all it takes is 10 minutes a week if you want. I mean, it's not hours and hours. It's how much you want to make of it. But you can preset things up to hit off at a certain time. You don't have, like push notices. You can,
Okay, so communications can be scheduled.
they can be scheduled. Now, let's just say that you've got, you're a restaurant, and, up here in Wisconsin, we get snowstorms. And all of a sudden, we were supposed to have a big pizza party because the Packers were going to the Super Bowl, but hey, that didn't happen. And so the next, nobody came in for your pizza. The next day, it takes you moments to set up a message that says, hey, come on in today, buy one, get one, and have a good day. So it gets your inventory turned. Or if you're a massage therapist or a hairdresser, you can send out a notice when people canceled on you. You can now quickly, and it'll take you moments to do it, and it'll get seen by your ideal audience. So the maintenance of it is simple. It's not complicated at all. In fact, if your developer has made it complicated, you need to have a conversation with them, because they don't have to do that.
Okay, thank you. So right about now, you've walked us through the process of, do I have an app concept that can become an app? How do I develop an app? How do I market it? How do I use it to build my profitability? Maybe boop, knock out the customers a little, the competition, excuse me, the competition a little more to gain a greater customer base, right? You told us how to maintain it, so we can do that. So the natural question is, how much does an app cost?
Oh, that that's a question I do get all the time.
I bet you do. Do you have your timer set?
I do. I have my
Okay.
Okay. So an app cost is going to depend upon what you want to do with it.
Okay.
Okay. Think of it like a website. And I don't want to necessarily compare the two, but from a cost analysis of what goes into it, you can build a very basic one, and that'd be less than $5,000 to get done. Or you can get extremely complicated and go hundreds of thousands, and even $500,000 or somewhere in between, depending upon what you want to do with it. However, the majority of the small business owner, we can get these things in relatively inexpensive, or the actual your investment into this isn't going to really kill your budget. And that's the other thing. It's an investment. You want to make sure you get a return on your investment, and not necessarily look at it as a cost. It really is an investment in your business, and your ROI is going to come back so 3, 4, 5-fold if you do this right, even beyond. I mean, it's just, like I said, the one client was 30%. The other client was close to 22%. I mean, it's possible. It's not only possible, it's probable. And it's something that people, they don't know what they don't know. And that's where I have that conversation with them, because we actually give them a quote before there's any obligation whatsoever. So, it can be anything from small up to huge, depending upon what you need in it. Having the conversation is where you first want to start to even know if you're going to get an ROI. I mean, if you're not going to get an ROI, why make the investment? But it's worth the investment because you're going to get the ROI.
All right, cool. Now we have one more question.
Okay, go.
Okay, because I'm sure right now a lot of people are sold on the fact that an app is valuable to them, right? Well, how can an app help us scale our business?
Oh gosh. Okay, that's probably one of my favorite questions.
Good.
Because first of all, when you get customers, it is best to keep them, repeat customers, right?
Okay.
And scaling really takes into account keeping the customers that you have and adding more. And you can do this with your mobile app very simply because you're going to stay in contact with your customers, so you're always top of mind. You're always top of mind, so they're going to do referrals. And then you're also going to be marketing your app. So you're going to start reaching the masses. And that's how you scale, is by talking one to many. And, yeah, you may start off with just 100 downloads, and depending upon your business, that may be fantastic. But I use an example of one that I have an investor. He's an asset management company. And what he's managed to do is make his app have so much good free stuff that his portfolio people, the people who he manages, share his app on a regular basis. And he's now talking and reaching with people who are not his customers, but they will be because they're building that know, like, and trust. So the biggest thing for scaling is keeping the customers that you have and adding to them.
Right.
And then talking to the masses at once. Doing what you do, repeatable, and then having that out there so that everybody can get your message and it keeps spreading like wildfire.
Okay. Love that. Don't disagree with a single thing that you just shared. Okay. And I know firsthand Nancy's work because I have not only one, but two apps because I have two different business focuses. So I know Nancy knows what she's speaking of. So, Nancy, if someone would like to engage further with you, how can you help them get this rolling?
The best place to go is actually to my website, unleashedmobileapps.com, and you can book an appointment right on there. Also, I'm part of an app with the book series. If you download our app, Brilliant Biz Book, you will be able to contact with me right there. You can send me a message, you can shoot me a text, however it is you'd like to contact me. And yeah, I open up let's have that conversation. I'm happy to do a 30-minute consultation at no charge to anybody. Let's hear your idea and let's go forward.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. That's quite generous. So you have the opportunity, everyone, to tap Nancy's wisdom because she loves sharing it. And there's a lot of misinformation out there about apps right now.
Oh, yeah.
So this gives everybody an opportunity to really figure out where they are in the app process because it does absolutely boost your profitability without a doubt. So Nancy, I want to thank you for your time today. You did great on your 2 minutes or less. Holy cow.
Thank you. Nothing like an app to keep you focused.
Okay, that was very good of you. By the way, you might hear Nancy say that more than once.
Absolutely.
Okay, so small business owners, we trust that you found this wisdom sharing both insightful and have many golden nuggets to strategize and implement to improve your business's profitability. We have links below for any questions or comments that you have. Nancy shared how to get a hold of her. And I want to say until our next presentation, shine brightly.